In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, to whom we all have to turn back. Honorable listeners and respectable audience, you know that we have commenced a series of linguistics. In linguistics, we have started the chapter and it is about syntax. That syntax is the study of the structure of the sentence. In syntax, I shared with you so many other topics like how to recognize a phrase, noun phrase, how to recognize verb and adverbial phrase. 5 phrases I discussed in detail like noun phrase, verb phrase, adverbial phrase, adjective phrase and prepositional phrase. And I told you that these phrases have their own heads. Along with this, I explained that how to recognize a noun phrase like what is moment test, what is replacement test and what is constituent test. Listeners and audience, connected to this, if you remember, we describe some components of the tree diagram. However, I'm going to talk about how to describe a tree structure. In other words, our topic is the structural relationship in a tree diagram. That how one node connects with another node. Sometimes we are talking about that a tree diagram, this is daughter and this is mother and the mother has daughters. And then we say that it has branching node and it has non-branching node. So what does it mean? So we are going to describe and discuss them one by one. So be with me and listen to this lecture from beginning until end. But before going to start the topic, I will request to my listeners and audience, if you are new for my channel, you are requested to like and subscribe my channel. Listeners and audience, let's talk about how to describe a tree structure. First of all, let me draw a structure, a kind of tree diagram. I wrote here A, which means sentence, and then I'm writing B, which means NP, and then I'm writing C, which means VP, and D, okay, I'm drawing 3 notes more or 3 strings for it, like we have D, E and F, and also for C, G, H and I, and also for H, J and K. Okay, listeners and audience, now let's come to the basic tree diagram. That what are the most important things in the tree diagram and what we have and why, what relationships they have with each others. First of all, we have what? We have node. What is node? Node is a position, it is a location or it is a point in a tree diagram. For example, you see here we have a node. What node we have? Here we have a node. That is, this is a node. Fine. So from this position I start the tree diagram. For example, I'm starting from here. So this is called a node. This is a position where I'm going to start my tree diagram. For example, if I draw this line here to the right side and left side, so here we have one node, and then if I write here B and C, so this is another node. So how many nodes are there? 3 nodes are there. So not need to find it, it is just for indication. So what is node? Node is a position, it is a location where we are going to start a line from, where we are going to draw a line from. So here we are having 3 nodes. You see this one like A and B and C. So this B and C, they are called labels or symbols because with the help of them we understand and recognize the tree structures or the complete structure of a sentence. Okay, now let's talk about This one, we call it the root node. The question arises, why we call it the root node? We call it the root node because we draw all the nodes from the root node, and this root node dominates other nodes. Like this is root nodes, it dominates B node, and it also dominates C nodes, and same is the case, it dominates all over the nodes. This is why it's called the root nodes. Okay. Now there are so many types and branches of nodes. Like we have, first of all, we have branching node. We have branching node. Yes, branching node is also called non-terminating. Yes, it is called non-terminating node. We also have, yes, another we have terminating node. Yes, terminating node. Okay, terminating node is also called non-branching node. Non-branching node. Okay, you may write it capital. Non-branching node. Okay. Now let's come to what is branching node. A branching node is a node which has another branches. A node which has further branches is called branching node, and it is also known as non-terminating node. For example, take the example of this node which is NP. I have written here B just for understanding. So here you see this is a node and it has 3 branches. So that's why it is called branching node. That's why it is called non-terminating node. Okay. Now, what is terminating node? A node which does not have any other node, which does not have any other branch. For example, see, this one, it does not have any other node, it does not have any other branch, it does not have any other branch. But H is what kind of node? It is branching node because it has 2 branches. This is the difference now, listeners and audience. Now, we also have a family tree. Let me talk about the family tree of this. In family tree of the tree diagram, we have, first of all, mother. Okay? And then mother has daughters. Okay? Okay. And mother has daughters, and then daughters, they are the sisters of each other. Now, let's talk about sentence like A, that is sentence. In sentence we have NP and we have VP. So, okay, and sentence is the mother. This is the root of the sentence. Sentence is the mother of what? It is the mother of this node and this node, node B and node C. And node B and node C, they are called daughters. Okay, they are called daughters. Okay, they are called daughter, and this S is called mother. Yes, it is mother, but it does not have mother. Remember, root is called, it is also called mother node because it is mother by itself, but it does not have mother, it has daughters. Okay, see, so root has a root node. Root node has 2 daughters here, that is B and C, or VP and NP. Sorry, NP and VP. Okay. Now, Same is the case, this daughter and this daughter, which is B and C, they are the sisters of each other. So they are sisters. They are also called the sister of each other. Okay, now let's talk about this branch, this node. This node also has daughters. Like B node has daughter, which is D and E and F. So a node which has daughters, we call it, which kind of node? We call it branching node. We call it non-terminating node. But a node which does not have any daughter, you see this D, this E and F, they do not have any daughter. They are in the form of set. So we call it, which type of node? We call it non-branching node or terminating node. Listeners and idols, here I am going to talk about another interesting point about this. And what is the interesting point? Okay. The interesting point about it is that we call it these, you see, here we have one branch and another branch. We call it branches. Branches. We call it branches. Like C have 3 branches. Okay. So this is also branch, this is also branch. Now, remember another point. Whenever a node which has 2 branches, we call it binary. We call it binary node. Yeah, binary branches or binary branches. And we say that a node which has only one node. A node which has only one node, which contains one node, then we are call it unary node. And like this one, unary. For example, if I say just an example, if I say PP and it has here just one node, fine. So there we call it what? Then we call it unary node. But a node which has 2 branches, then we call it binary nodes. And a node which has 3 branches, then we call it what? Ternary. We call it ternary node. Now, listeners and idols, remember that whenever we are talking about this kind of structure, so here I am describing something more. That's how one node dominates other. I'm going to again draw the structure. Here we have B and C, and B we have, yes, D, E and F, and then in C we have G, H and I, and H we have J and K. Listeners and idols, now you see, A dominates B and C. Okay. A dominates B and C, or A dominates node B and node C. Okay. Same is the case, B dominates D, E and F, and C dominates G, H and I. However, A does not dominate D, E and F. Question arises why? Answer is that because B is the intervener. B is the intervener among them. Same is the case, C dominates G, H and I. However, A dominates C, but A does not dominate what? G, H and I, because here C is the intervener. On the other hand, if you are talking about D and E and F, they do not dominate B because they are not dominant, because they do not dominate, because they are non-branching node. Same is the case, C dominates G, H and I. However, C does not dominate J and K because here H is the intervener. Same is the case G, it does not dominate any other because it does not have any other branch. But however, here H dominates J and K. But K and J and K, they do not dominate H because they are terminating node. Listeners and audience, in the upcoming lecture, we will talk about the dominance and relevance, that how they have relation with each other. Hope that this topic is clear to you.